Hi Grandmaster Academy students, Coach Joshua here. I'm back here with another video to teach you guys how to get your splits. So let's talk about why the splits is so important. So when we're stretching, we prevent injuries, we maximize our potential and our ability to do great things. So when we're able to do the splits, we're able to kick higher. For example, when as a martial artist, if I have a side kick and I can only kick down here because this is as far as my splits can go, that limits me to be only able to kick low. But if I have a wider range of motion in my hips, I can go higher from wherever I am. I can be able to kick somebody from high, I can be able to kick somebody from low. Additionally, as a performing artist, when you have your splits, it also increases your aesthetics when you're doing things like cartwheels, when you're doing a lot of other movements. So for a lot of reasons, your splits is very important to be able to expand your athletic potential. So guys, another very important reason for getting your splits is injury prevention. When you stretch before you do your exercises, you help to not pull things, you help to not hurt your muscles and injure yourself, because it's very important to not delay your results. So stretching is so important for every sport to not hurt yourself while you're training. This stretch applies to more than just martial arts. It applies to things like soccer, basketball, or any sport where you have to move your body and put it into strenuous positions.
Stretching also allows you to be able to move your body and do things you otherwise couldn't without getting injured.
So it's very important to warm up before you stretch, because if you just go right into the splits right when you wake up, when your body's cold, you're not gonna get the maximum results. If you've ever tried to do a split or a stretch right when you wake up, you probably don't feel very confident in it. So that's why we gotta get our blood flowing, because that's gonna loosen up the muscles and allow us to go further. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take you through a warm up. So things that open up your hips specifically for this exercise. So high knee raises, going like back and forth like this for 30 seconds, and then doing hip circles for 30 seconds, just like this. Doing jumping jacks, just get the blood flowing throughout your whole body. We're doing this for 30 seconds. And then even if you're feeling really cold, full burpees, being able to go down, out, push up, jump, down, out, push up, jump. Doing that for 30 seconds. And once you're starting to breathe heavy, once you're starting to feel like maybe you're about to sweat, that's a good point to start stretching, because your body's warm and your legs are ready to go. So when we first get into stretching, you want to start out with dynamic stretching. So let me get into the difference between static and dynamic stretching. Dynamic stretching is the ability to swing your leg up, to place it somewhere, to have it go up really high, like when you're doing a high kick. When you're swinging your leg up, that is the ability to use that flexibility in action.
And remember, the dynamic flexibility is what's going to allow you to be able to kick up high with kicks like your push kicks, your side kicks, your round kicks. Without that flexibility, it'll limit you in your ability to kick in the upper range.
And static flexibility is the ability to hold a strenuous position without using it in action. So just being able to open up your legs, just holding it. This is why it's static flexibility. So when you're holding it, that is a different kind of stretch. So we always want to warm up with dynamic flexibility, going your full range of motion on both sides. We'll start out with just doing front leg raises, as high as you can stationary, trying to keep your back straight, like so. And then you are going to do side leg raises, back and forth. Once you do those for about 30 seconds each, then you'll be ready to get into your splits.
So when you start to get into your stretch,
you want to train both your strength and your resting flexibility. So when we go out into our splits, you want to hold this position because we're activating our muscles. Now, it might not be as far as you can go when you're sitting down into it, but this is to build the strength right here in your legs to be able to use that flexibility in your kicks and to be able to go into it with less of a warm up. So we're gonna hold this for 30 seconds as far as you can go without dropping your hands to the floor. So you're supporting yourself with these muscles. You're gonna hold it for 30 seconds. And then once that time is up, you're gonna put your hands down. You're gonna go as far as you can in this position with your feet as flat on the ground as you can, your toes pointed forward. And then from here, you're gonna try to, you might be here, wherever you're at, you're gonna try your best to put one hand underneath you, one hand behind you, and then sit down. So now we're in the seated stretch with your toes pointed up to the ceiling. And when we're in this stretch, you wanna make sure that your toes are pointed up, your knees are straight, and your legs are out. And it can be uncomfortable on your heels, depending on your surface. So if you're doing this on a hardwood surface or concrete, you might wanna consider moving to something like a carpet, a mat, or anything else that just has slight more padding. So because you wanna be able to dig your heels into the ground, put one hand in front of you and one hand behind you, and then press forward. And you're gonna go as far as you can go with bearable pain. So it shouldn't be a sharp pain, but it should be uncomfortable. And once it's as far as you can go, by pressing forward, digging your heels into the ground to keep that stretch, you're just gonna hold it. And it's very important to relax as you stretch, to take deep breaths. So you're gonna hold it, take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. And then from here, you're gonna try to get your chest low to the ground. So you're gonna put your hands in front of you and you're gonna try to reach forward and try to get eventually your chest flat on the ground like so. So you wanna be able to reach in. And now we wanted to train our hips as well.
And then you're gonna reach your hands straight into the air.
You're gonna reach over your head and then towards your foot like so. And you're going to do both sides. So this trains you to be able to move your upper body along with your lower body, because when we're in different kicking positions, your upper body is going to be doing all sorts of different things. So you want to prepare your body for all of those movements. So you're going to hold this, and then once you have done this, as long as you have time for. So if you have 30 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, an hour, it doesn't matter. You're going to hold this for as long as you've set aside time for. And every time you hold this, eventually it's gonna become more relaxed. So if you're at this position where it's uncomfortable, you're gonna hold it until it becomes relaxed, and then you're going to inch until you are in that strenuous position once again, and then you're gonna hold it until that becomes relaxed, and you're gonna keep doing this process for as long as you have time for. And then after this, you're going to bring your legs in, and if you've done it long enough, you should feel discomfort and bring your legs even back together because of how hard you've been stretching. So from this position, you're going to want to bring your feet in for a butterfly stretch.
This allows your muscles to cool down a little bit. Sometimes it's okay to give your muscles a chance to relax, and you can do this by going back and forth between your splits and your butterfly stretch.
Also, keep in mind, other stretches apply to your side splits. If you start stretching your hamstrings, which is the back of your thighs, this could be very important. So I want you to be able to do this stretch by putting your palms on the ground with straight knees, or sitting down and reaching for your toes, and then trying to get your chest low to your legs like so. That's another stretch I want you guys to work on, because these muscles, along with your inner thigh muscles and your hips, are all connected in various ways. And sometimes stretching those other muscles around will help you get the splits as well. It's very important also for our strength exercises. We have this exercise to train your strength right here, but we also have our leg lift exercises. So when we are practicing for our kicks, I want you to be able to just hold it out. So this is training our strength with our flexibility as well. And as you're practicing it, sometimes you might need just a wall to give yourself practice, wrapping your arm underneath and practicing just holding your leg out. So you can practice with the wall at first. Eventually you can get your balance by taking your hand away from the wall. But I want you to practice holding your leg out with your arm and then eventually lowering your arm so you can hold it out by itself, because that's going to help you build the strength around your hip flexors and your inner thighs to be able to hold your kicks. And that is so important to apply to your splits and your athletic ability. All right, guys, so I wanted to tell you, how long do you train the splits? So that just depends on how fast you want to get it. If you want to get the splits within 2 to 3 months, you're going to need to train every day for 30 minutes or even longer than that, depending on how your progress is going. But you want it to be holding the static stretching and all the steps that I talked about for 30 minutes or even more. And guys, that sounds like a lot of time, but you can supplement this time with, after you do your warm up and everything, you can hold the seated splits while either scrolling through your phone, while typing on a laptop right here, while doing your homework, drawing, things like that. So when I was a kid, I did my homework, I had devices, I'd watch TV in front of me. So that time wasn't just me sitting there staring at a wall, it was actually just passive progress by holding it, inching, holding it, inching, and that's how I got it that way. So if you wanted to make minimal progress, I'd say 10 to 15 minutes a day for 4 days a week would be a way that you could make progress, but it might take a lot longer. But if you want to get it fast within 2 to 3 months, you're gonna have to do it 30 minutes or even longer each day. So if you're trying and trying, you're not getting any results, then that means you might have to add more time to holding it. Try to relax more when you are holding the stretch, taking deeper breaths. If you're skipping your warm up, that can be a big thing that you're missing. And if you're not holding it until it becomes comfortable and then inching more and more, that is another thing that's very, very important to getting the splits. So these are common mistakes. So if you ever forget one of these things, try to add that into your stretching routine, as well as applying other stretches around your legs, like reaching for your toes. All these other stretches are so important to get the overall flexibility that you will need to be able to do the splits.
So now I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about my story and how I was able to get the splits.
For me, it took about 2 months of consistent hard work and training. I trained about 30 minutes a day, and I did it consistently in all the steps that I mentioned to you. And I was also, I think, under 10 years old.
And keep in mind, once you get the splits, maintaining it is a lot easier than having to initially achieve it. And guys, remember, age, gender, your biology, all these things play a factor into getting your splits, but don't let that discourage you, because you can still get the splits from wherever you're at if you put in the hard work and effort. I wasn't born flexible, but being able to achieve the splits opened up doors and opportunities for me to excel in sports, and even to be able to participate in performing arts activities that I adored. And I want everyone else to have the opportunity to express themselves in their sports and in their performing arts without limitations, and to have the same satisfaction that I had. If you liked this video, check out my follow along version, and I'll take you through the entire process step by step with full timers for every exercise.
All right, guys, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. The splits can be discouraging if you're not getting results that you want, but stay consistent. Rewatch this video if you need to, and feel free to reach out to our school and ask any questions you might have about things like the splits or other martial arts moves. I would be happy to answer those questions and help you. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing your progress with the splits. I will see you on the mats.